fellas? It's Fari. First vid. Let's get it. Like, comment, and subscribe only if you fuck with it. But be sure to follow me on Instagram at organic.fari. Today we will be talking about managing your time, energy, and resources. So let's get right into it. Too many men spend time in a state of what I call lack, complaining about how they don't have enough time, they don't have enough energy, they don't have enough resources to accomplish the goals that they want to accomplish. They're wrong. They're fucking wrong. As long as you have life, my nigga, you're blessed. You're blessed and highly favored to even have breath on this earth right now. So don't ever take that for granted. As long as you have breath and as long as you're on this earth, you have everything that you need internally. That's what a lot of people don't realize. All of the things that we need, we already have internally. I was actually reading a book really recently. It's actually this book right here. Um, but in the book, I'll actually read the quote right here. It says, "We are spiritual, infinite beings having a physical, finite experience here on earth. Because of this, we are the living gateway between the human divine." What this means right here is we have the ability to tap into the ultimate source of knowledge. We have that knowledge within us already. We have all of the power, we have all of the motivation, we have all of the discipline, we have everything that we think we lack already within us. All you have to do is tap in. If you're watching this video or you stumbled across this video, it's simple. You're most likely an ambitious man, someone who's already putting in a lot of work, someone who's doing more than the average man. But for some reason, you feel stuck. For some reason, you feel like you've plateaued. You feel like you just can't get over this hump. You feel like you've been in the same spot for a little while or for a long time. It sucks. It truly does suck. You feel like it's just this one missing piece, the one missing piece to the puzzle. If I can find this piece and implement it into my life, I'll be Gucci. Is that you? The missing piece is honestly discipline, routine, and conviction. Another word for conviction is faith. Is something that's used in religion a lot, or belief, just belief in oneself. That's what it ultimately boils down to. Before we get into the solutions, here are some examples of how men like you waste your time. And trust me, I've been there and still am working on some of these things right now as we speak. It's a lifetime journey, my nigga. None of this shit comes overnight. There's no such thing as an overnight success. Stop thinking that it's not going to take work. It's going to take a lot of fucking work. You need to be honest. You need to be honest with yourself, most importantly, on if you're putting in the amount of work that you need to, or if you're focusing, if you have the amount of focus, the laser focus that it really takes to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Be honest. You can only be honest with yourself and God. You can lie to me. Who gives a fuck? You can lie to your friends. You can lie to your families. You can lie to that bitch. You can lie to that girl. You could lie to your boss. You could lie to your coworkers. You could lie to your clients. But do you know who you cannot lie to? That man that you look at in the mirror every single fucking day. And you can't lie to God. God sees everything, bro. The sooner you look yourself in the mirror and you start taking full accountability for your action and the position in life that you're in right now, until you do that, you'll stay in the same fucking spot. So just take some accountability, put everything on your own shoulders, and I promise you, your life will change. I guarantee it. Just because you are more focused than the average man doesn't mean you are working hard enough. Who are you comparing yourself to? And I want to say that again. Just because you're working harder or you're more focused than the average man, that does not mean that you're working it doesn't mean you're working hard enough, and it doesn't mean you're focused enough. Something that a lot of men find themselves falling into a trap is when they compare themselves with low level people. And there's no diss to the people that's around you, but let's be honest, are any of those people doing the things that you want to do? Do any of those people have the type of life you want? Do they drive the car you want? Do they live in the house you want? Do they have the chick you want? Do they have the relationship with God you want? do they have the physique that you want? If so, okay, cool. You it might be smart to listen to them, but honestly, you really have to ask yourself, who are you comparing yourself to? Where's your bar? Because there's levels to this shit, I promise you. And just ask yourself, just simply look yourself in the mirror and say, am I a waste boy? Am I wasting everything? Am I like a waste youth? Just look yourself in the mirror, ask yourself if you're wasting everything. Or or are you a man that spends every single minute, every single second of every single minute of every single hour of every single day of his life working on being the best man that he can be? And that's what a lot of people don't realize, to keep it a stack with you, is that this shit is a lifelong journey, bro. It never ends. Never, never ends. It's ongoing forever and ever. And once you've asked yourself this question, just be honest. Just be honest with yourself. The first step is taking accountability for where you are in life, owning up to it, and realizing that your life right now and your past experiences are all a result of all the actions and thoughts that you've had or that you've taken. That's the simple truth. Um, and only you can answer that. Like I said, you can lie to everyone around you, but you can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to God. And you can screenshot this shit. I really do not care. As long as you take the information and you actually apply it to your life and you use it to improve, that's all that matters, man. Do as you please. So the first thing we're going to talk about is wasting your time. So here goes a couple examples of how I know, look, you're reading this list and you're like, what the fuck? How does this nigga know? Because I've been there, bro. I've been there. Most ambitious men have been there. You're scrolling on IG. I call this the double B's, business and baddies. It almost feels productive, because you're not really watching quote unquote entertainment. A lot of your feed is honestly business. It is a lot of motivation, but there are baddies on there as well. You're on G looking at business and baddies. And every single thing has a place and time, but you're doing too much fucking scrolling. You sit down, you scroll, you get a little dopamine hit. Next thing you know, you actually check the time and 30 minutes have passed. 45 minutes have passed. 60 minutes have passed. What the fuck are you doing? This other one right here, this other way that you guys are wasting your time is the overconsumption of educational content. And this is another thing. This is probably the biggest thing. This is something that had me in a fucking vice grip for a long time, bro. It's just I don't know what it is. It, I guess the brain doesn't really know the difference between what you're thinking and what's actually going on, but a lot of you are living vicariously through a lot of these niggas you're watching online. Yeah, they're giving you some real good information. Yeah, they're giving you some content. Um, they're giving you some real good information that you can use to apply to your life, but you're spending a lot of time watching a lot of other niggas live their life and be the best man that they can be rather than taking that time and being the best man that you can be. And there's a time and a place. Obviously, you want to consume educational content, but be careful. Be careful. Look at the amount of time that you're spending on YouTube, my nigga. Check it. Like, actually go and look and see how much time you're spending on YouTube. It might blow your fucking mind. You're gonna be very surprised. Another one is chasing girls. You're texting these girls. You're calling these girls. You're spending time with these girls late night. It's a waste of fucking time. All of the girls that I've spent time with in the past, Babe, crickets, none of them are fucking here. Some of them may be floating around in the background. Because once again, everything has a time and a place, but you're spending way too much chasing these women, bro. You spend a lot of time getting over that porn addiction. You have, I understand, you haven't masturbated in a long time, but you're telling me you're gonna spend all of the free time that you have chasing women? So now all of the free time that you have and your weekends are down the drain, chasing pussy. In 5 to 10 years, when you look back on your life and you realize how much time you spent chasing pussy, how much time you've wasted chasing pussy, I guarantee you you'll be upset with yourself. You're spending too much time saying yes to family and friends. When they give you a call, you pick up, you spend 30, 45, 60 minutes on the phone with them. Don't get me wrong, especially if you're a guy like me, you have the people that are calling your phone probably have something positive to talk about. They're not really calling your phone with negativity, but a lot of you motherfuckers still have people around you that are just negative Nancy's draining your fucking energy. Get rid of them. Stop answering the phone. Stop responding to texts. It's okay. You know there was a time where we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have these things. Another thing is doing frivolous activities or chores that can wait. Yeah, nigga, you need to wash your laundry. You need to take care of those things. You need to clean your room. You need to tidy up. You need to wash the dishes. But bro, why is it taking you 2 hours to do a 30-minute task? I just don't get it at all. The last thing is not planning or having a routine. A lot of you niggas are getting up and yes, you're hitting the gym. Yes, you're going to work, but you don't really have a set routine. Don't get me wrong, you're consistent at work, you show up at work, you're consistent at the gym, but what are you doing outside of those things? You probably can't even tell me where your time's been going, can you? If you can, good for you, I'm proud of you. If not, I'm ashamed of you and you need to do better. But don't worry, we'll talk about this a little later in the video. Now, here goes a few examples of how you're wasting your energy. And once again, you're gonna ask yourself, why the fuck does this resonate so much, or how does this nigga far so much? Is because I've been there, dog. I've been there. So, one of the ways that you waste your energy is by believing in the myth that multitasking is a real thing. The brain cannot focus on more than one thing at a time. I mean, it can handle multiple tasks at the same time, but in all reality, what it's doing is it's bouncing back and forth between those 2 to 3 tasks, however many tasks you're multitasking with. Stop fucking bouncing around. Another way that you're wasting your energy is that you're sleeping with a lot of women or you're spending a lot of time with women. Too much time. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. I'll keep saying that. I'll never tell you not to get any action. I'll never tell you to stop enjoying feminine energy. However, sometimes you're doing it in excess. You're doing it too much. It's that simple. You're spending too much time with these women. You're spending too much energy on these women. All that calling and all that texting adds up, bro. You should have went to bed at 10:30, but now you're going to bed at 12:30, 1 a.m., and now you're waking up late for the gym. You might still make it to the gym because, like I said, you're a bit more focused than the average guy, but now your workout is ass. Everything plays a role. That's what people don't realize. Every single thing plays a role, and a lot of these women are just depleting and draining you of your energy. They're just sucking you of all of your energy. You feel like because you're not masturbating, you're not watching porn, and you're doing the real thing, you're actually attracting women and you're sleeping with them. Don't get me wrong, it's a huge dopamine hit. It's better than beating your shit every day. However, slow down. Why do you feel like you have to bust so many nuts? Allow some of that life force and sexual energy to build up and flow through your body and actually use that in I don't know if any of you have heard of sexual transmutation. It's basically you redirect that energy into something creative. Go create something in the real world. Anyways, you're spending time with these women. A lot of them are just, like I said, draining you of your energy, or they're pulling you away from your purpose. They have to go now. You're trying your hardest to stick to your sleep routine. You may even already have an alarm clock that goes off when you need to go to bed, but you're not getting in bed when you're supposed to. Or when you get in bed, you're still scrolling on the phone, you're still watching YouTube videos, and next thing you know, once again, you're not getting enough sleep, and you still might wake up on time, but once again, that low quality of sleep is affecting your energy levels, and your energy levels being low will definitely impact your day negatively. And that's a fact. So now we're going to talk about wasting your resources. All three of these things are extremely important, but this one right here is very, very important. The number one way that a lot of you are wasting your resources is you're living above your means. A lot of you watching this are either in sales or entrepreneurship, or you're aspiring to do so. And with that lifestyle, or with that field of work, comes a fluctuating income. Some of you right now may have a very low income, or some of you may just have an income that fluctuates. Sometimes you have low months, sometimes you have super high months, sometimes you just have these little steady months. But the important thing to know is to live below your means. Don't live according to your best month. That's stupid as fuck. Stop spending unnecessary money. If it's not in the budget, do not spend it. Stop wasting money on these women, trying to impress them, taking them on dates, buying liquor, buying weed, driving here, driving there, sending Uber. Like, bro, you're wasting your fucking money. You're spending your money like you have an unlimited amount. You have unlimited income earning potential, but you don't have an unlimited amount of money right now. You're spending it like you do. And what a lot of people don't realize is right now, with the little bit of money that you have and your poor financial habits that you have right now, will carry over to when you do start making a lot of money. And making a lot of money plus poor financial habits leads directly to the road of poverty. You will be poor again. So you really need to be careful of where you spend your money. And even when it comes to hiring coaches, or even when it comes to buying courses, why are you buying courses and not following through with it? You buy a course, you spend money on an ebook, you spend money on a course, you spend money on a community, and you don't take any fucking action, and you wonder why your life is staying in the same exact spot day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Are you not tired? I was tired, so I made a fucking change. Another way that you're wasting your resources is actually by not hiring a coach or a mentor. One thing that I've learned myself the hard way, and what I've seen with other people, working with other people, is that all of the information, the beauty about living in the year of 2025 is all of the information that you need to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish, they already exist online. They're already there for free. The information is out here for free. However, it's going to take you a very long time to piece all of that together and get things right. You're going to go through a lot of torment. You're going to go through a lot of failure. You're going to go through a lot of pain, which builds character. But a lot of that can be condensed. The pain can be lessened. The timeline it takes you to reach or accomplish certain goals can be shortened by having the right mentor or coach by your side. He or she might even say it in their free content. But the act of you paying that money, along with the accountability and the guidance, and don't get me wrong, coaches do give nuanced information. They will drop a gem here that kind of just like sparks the light bulb or connects the missing dots, or that does happen. But ultimately, you have to think about it. Kobe had a head coach. LeBron has a head coach. Michael Jordan had a head coach. Do you think you're too good to have a coach? So now I want to actually talk about, we talked about the negatives. Now let's actually talk about some practical steps that you can use to actually manage your time, energy, and resources efficiently. You want to be as effective as you can every single day. So there's this quote. I'm not going to tell you what book it's from. If you know, you know. It's a very popular book. But the quote goes something like this: there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. This is a very magical quote, and it's very true. It's not that you're necessarily doing the wrong things, because once again, there's a time and a place for every single activity under the sun. But if you were like how I was in the past, a lot of times you're doing things at the wrong time, or you're doing them for too long, or you're not doing them long enough. So it's really about choosing when you decide to do things that will inevitably shape your life. Your actions will literally dictate how your life looks. So I'm going to give you a couple practical steps of, or, resources that I actually use that have really helped me, and I've seen it help other people transform their life completely. The first two things we're going to talk about, these things go hand in hand. Number one is breaking down your weeks by the hour. So this is a fact. Everyone has 168 hours in a week. So it's your job to look at your life and look at where you're actually spending your time. So with this exercise, what you want to do is you literally want to grab a piece of paper, a pen, a pencil, a crayon, a marker. I don't care. You can do this in your phone notes. You want to write 168-hour breakdown at the top. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to minus between 42 and 56 hours per week for sleep. This is the general recommended amount of sleep that you should get per week. So we're going to knock that off right off the top. The next thing we're going to knock off is work. You should be working at least 40 to 60 hours in your business or at a full-time job or combined. If you're not working that hard, please get the fuck off of this channel. Exit out of the video immediately, right fucking now. Stop watching this video right now. I'm dead ass. So I'm assuming you already spend a good amount of time at work. I'm already assuming you spend a good amount of time in the gym. If you're not and you haven't clicked off the video yet, I'm still going to tell you to click off this fucking video because it's not for you. However, if you are aspiring or working towards getting those parts of your life consistent, you can still watch the video, because there was a point in time where I was not consistent with that myself. And who would I be to block you from valuable information? So now when we knock that off, it leaves you with about 52 total hours left in the week to do whatever it is that you need to do. My advice is to prioritize things from the most important to the least important. A couple of different things is you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself and your responsibilities. So if you need to take the trash out, wash the dishes, clean your room, make sure you're staying on top of your fucking hygiene. A lot of you niggas is dirty. Well, the niggas watching this aren't dirty. I know you guys are already on top of your hygiene, but you'd be surprised. A lot of you niggas need to work on that. But yeah, you want to make sure you're taking care of your responsibilities. I have a dog, so I need to make sure I'm feeding him every single day. I need to make sure I'm taking him out a few times per day. You just want to make sure you stay on top of these basic things. The next thing is purpose, purpose, purpose. This includes work, but make sure you're prioritizing this. If you put anything above this, you're a bitch. And then a couple other things that you can put on there is family and friends, and then leisure. So you do want to give yourself time blocks, or you want to allocate some time to all of these things. You don't want to be a robot. You can't work for 24 hours out of the day, but you can work for 12 hours out of the day. You can work for 10 hours out of the day. You can work for 8 hours of the day. Shit, you can at least work for 4 hours out of the day. So write everything down. Think of every single thing that you do, even the time that it takes you to travel to and from work, to and from the gym. Put that into this, add that to this list. It'll give you an idea of how much time you don't have, but it'll also show you how much time you do have. And it'll give you an idea, and it'll give you a visual representation of how you can move things around and shift where you're allocating your hours to make sure that your habits and the time that you're spending while you're awake is best dedicated and allocated to moving the needle forward. So the next thing that's going to be a big help with managing your time is Google Calendar. So if you're not using a calendar right now, I can tell you right now, you're probably waking up with your head up your fucking ass and you're just doing whatever you feel like doing. And whenever you do just what you feel like doing, a lot of times it leads to disaster. So if you don't have Google Calendar, download it on your phone, your tablet, your computer, download that shit right now. Literally pause this video and download it right now. What you want to do is you want to plan the perfect week ahead of time. So you want to put in your non-negotiables. So you want to put in the time that you're going to be asleep. You want to put in your morning routine. You want to put in the gym. You want to put in the time that you're spending at work. And then you want to put in the time that you're spending before or after work, depending on what shift you work. With that, you also want to make sure you're planning your off days. So plan ahead of time. Don't say yes to anything without looking at your calendar. Anytime. I don't give a fuck if you know tomorrow is completely clear. If someone asks you to do something today, say, hold on, give me 1 second, let me check my calendar. Do not make any decisions when it comes to your time without looking at your calendar and understanding where you stand when it comes to your time and where it's being allocated. Now that you have these time blocks out of your calendar, you also want to make real-time adjustments. So if you get out of work a little bit earlier, a certain day, you want to make sure you adjust how that schedule looks for that day. So now you can actually look back and have a visual representation for where you allocated your time throughout the past week. So you want to review this at the end of the day, and you want to review this at the end of the week. This right here, just adding Google Calendar into your routine is going to change your life tremendously. And another big tip, I got this from another YouTuber, is actually putting the Google Calendar widget on your phone. So when you open up your phone, one of the first things you see is your Google Calendar. There's no fucking excuse. You might even want to add reminders. It's a lot of things that you can do when it comes to Google Calendar. You color code it. You can set reminders. You can add the address. You can add other people. I suggest make it fun. Make it like a video game. Leveling up in life is the best video game that you can play. A lot of niggas want to play GTA or Call of Duty or 2K My Player. Why don't you spend all that time working on yourself and build up the character that you are in real life? Another reason why Google Calendar is very important is because it takes all of these things that you have to do, these places and these times that you have to remember, and it takes it out of your head, which gives you more space to think. It removes a lot of junk from your head, so you're not spending a lot of time or energy thinking about, all right, what do I have to do next? All I have to do is look at my Google Calendar and I know what I'm doing. Now, another very effective way to help manage your time, and this goes hand in hand with the Google Calendar, is using some form of a to-do app or a physical to-do list where you write down. You just want to kind of use this as something where you're going about your day and a random task pops up in your head. You're driving down the street and you realize, oh shit, I lost my AirPods, or I lost my headphones, or I lost my charger. You want to write down in your to-do list, find my AirPods, find my charger. So once again, that thought isn't just sitting in your head collecting dust and clutter. You want to take it out of your head and put it inside of that to-do app. So now you'll make it a part of your routine to review your to-do list daily, weekly, monthly, annually, and you'll use that in combination with your calendar. And it's up to you and only you to ask yourself what happens if you continue to waste these things. Take some time to actually sit down and think about it right now. So just to show you guys a couple more things that you can use to manage your time, energy, and resources properly. I won't go too much into details on these things because the video is getting pretty long. It's a lot longer than I thought it would be. Pause, but here goes a couple of other things that you guys can use. So something is, I like to call self-actualization, is managing your energy. taking care of your mental and your emotional state, making sure that the state of being that you are in is one of high vibration. Some of the ways that I do this is by journaling, by reading, and by meditating. A few things that I use to manage my resources or manage my money is just by simply tracking my money. You should know how much money you're spending every single month. You should know how much your bills, your upcoming bills for the upcoming month should be. There's no reason why you shouldn't know where the money in your account is going once you make it and you decide to spend it. So a simple way to track your monthly expenses or your bills and their due dates is to create a Google Sheet where you just put in, the date that the bill is due, the amount, and what the bill is for. So, your rent, your utilities, things like that. Another thing that you can do is you can actually track your actual expenses. So there's apps out there that you can use. I just use my phone notes. So if you use your phone notes, you can track your expenses on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis, including your bills. This is another good way of just keeping an eye on your money. Some extra tips are just having multiple bank accounts. So not keeping all of your money in one account. At bare minimum, you should have two separate accounts. You should have an account where you're, spending or, where expenses come out, and then you should have a savings account as well. But in an ideal world, just basic finance, you should have a savings account, a bills account, an everyday expense account, and a spend account. And every single time you get paid, you want to make sure you're dispersing the money into their proper accounts with their proper amount, so you're not overspending in any area. Something that's big that I recently implemented into my life, and I've seen a lot of benefits and a lot of progress after using this, is just some form of a habit tracker. So you can literally track this in your phone notes. You can use a software. You can use Google Sheets. There's basic ways and there's advanced ways as well. Whichever way you decide to do is just a good idea to track your habits. Just making sure you're knocking off all of the important things every single day. You want to review this. This is another thing you want to review every single day and every single month. And it's just a way that I've really been able to hold myself accountable, and I've seen it work for other people as well. Instead of thinking, oh yeah, I worked really hard last week, or oh yeah, the last 12 weeks I worked really hard. Nah, now you actually have a visual representation of if the last 12 weeks of your life were actually productive. So now what I want to talk to you guys about is the organic order. So this is something that I'm introducing to you guys. This is why I'm on YouTube. In this video, we talked about managing your time, energy, and resources. And I bet this video really resonated with you, didn't it? I had a lot of key points that hit home with you. I know you had a few emotions that rose up while you were watching this. I understand, bro. I get it. I was there at one point. Some of those emotions that you are feeling may be anger and frustration because you are an ambitious man and you do work hard, but for whatever reason you feel stuck. You might even have some results, but they're minor compared to the things that you actually want to accomplish. The thing that you need to realize is most ambitious men like yourself don't lack talent, they don't lack time, and they don't lack resources. The reason they fail is because they waste their time, they waste their energy, and they burn their resources on things that do not move the needle forward. You're probably smart. You probably already have the drive, already have some money, or you have some results. You might have a decent physique. You might have a great physique. You might have a girl already. You might have a rotation. You might not have too many issues with women. You may be attracting women even. You might even already have a good relationship with God, but deep down in your soul, you know you're underperforming. You know there's much more that you could be doing. Keep telling yourself, oh man, once I lock in, I'm going to turn into a beast. I'm going to become unstoppable, but that shit never sticks. Why doesn't it stick? We just went over some examples of how you're wasting your time, your energy, and your resources. And it's up to you and only you to ask yourself what happens if you continue to waste these things. Take some time to actually sit down and think about it right now. Imagine waking up and being proud of the man you were yesterday and of the man you will be today. Actually pause and take the time to feel the feeling. Imagine saying no to distractions and building positive habits that compound your life. That's what happens when you master your time, energy, and resources. It's not a productivity hack, it's a lifelong commitment to being the highest version of yourself that you can be. This means becoming the highest version of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually is when you stop living on autopilot and start living with a purpose. It's not just success, it's alignment. It's when your actions, values, and visions all match. Most men never get there because they never master themselves. That's what this work is about. That's what my work is about. That's what I'm on this earth to do, is to help other men. Yeah, I'm working on myself. I'm the experiment. I've been through a lot of things that you've been through. I've been through the things that you're dealing with. Shit, I'm still working on some of the stuff right now, but I've overcame a lot of the issues and struggles that you're facing right now. My goal is to help men reach the highest version of themselves. I want to leave a positive and real impact on this earth. I've made a lot of progress, but still have a long way to go. I've dealt with and am still dealing with the same things as you. I can help. I know what it feels like. I've been there. Whether you're trying to start a business, grow a brand, need sales tips, want to improve your physique, relationship with women, want to improve your relationship with God, want to improve your relationship with yourself, let's work together to build structure, focus, and habits that stick. Most importantly, let's gain clarity. It's not cheap because it's not fluff. I'm going to actually commit myself and my life to your success, dog. If you're done wasting your time and ready to move forward with life, DM me organic on Instagram and we will set up a quick call to see if we can work together one-on-one. No pressure to push, but if you're serious, I will help you win. I promise you. I guarantee it. If you're not serious, don't book a fucking call. Real shit. So if you made it to the end, I definitely appreciate you guys. This was my first video, so it might be a little choppy, but we raw, authentic, and organic with it. You guys will be able to see this journey firsthand. You'll see me build this business firsthand. Let's do it together, bro. I'm super excited. But if you have any questions that can be answered quickly, DM me on IG. I'll get back to you, or I may even make a video about it. I just want to say nobody is perfect, but you must always aim to be the best version of yourself. That's the message I want you to leave off with today. Always strive to be the best version of yourself in every single situation that you see yourself in. Thank you. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.